Hi everyone, this is Lauren from Mother of Pearl, and I got my darn good yarn in the mail yesterday, and I worked up something really quick right away. When I got it, so this is what I have left of my yarn that I use. They come already wound, which is really fun. It inspired me to get going right away. I took it out of the package and it was already wound into a ball, and I wanted to use it right away. This is the silk roving yarn in the colorway Southern France. The first thing I noticed about it was the colors are so bright and vibrant. All of the colors are hand dyed in India, and the material, the fiber content, is a reclaimed silk. So it's 100% silk and it's reclaimed. So it was saved from going into the landfill, which is one of the things I really like about darn good yarn. I also received this package of yarn, which is kind of a gradient. It's called Fields of Green, and this is a DK weight yarn. So I'm going to talk about the silk roving yarn first. Let's get to the specs. So it feels similar to cotton. It's very, very soft. It's 100% silk, and it's a single ply yarn. So it's a roving yarn. It's pretty tightly twisted, so I don't expect it to pill at all. Usually with a single ply yarn, I expect it to be a little looser, but this is very tightly spun, although it's not over twisted, so that is great. I was really pleasantly surprised by how soft this yarn was. I thought that, it being recycled silk, I thought it was going to be a little more like Tussa silk and be a little sharp, but it's super soft, almost as soft as like a mulberry silk. It's very, very soft. So what I decided to make, I am going to show you. I made a plant hanger. I wanted to brighten up my kids' playroom, and this plant needed a base. It needed a plate underneath it, otherwise I would water it and then all the water would go down on the floor. So I needed to create something to hold the plate in place. And I was really inspired to do some crochet. I'm not really a crocheter, but I did crochet this project. Let's look at it a little closer. Here is my progress so far. I am making a plant holder out of this silk yarn, and so far this is the bottom where the plate will sit, and this yarn is super soft and it's got really bright colors. I really like the stitch definition here. It's very defined. You can see every single stitch, and it's really lovely. The color changes come pretty fast, and the yarn itself is tightly spun but not over twisted. There are no neps or pills that I can see, and it is very even. It almost looks like it was mill spun. It looks great. Okay, so this yarn is 75 yards per ball, and it's 50 grams, and it's a worsted weight yarn. This yarn is also hand wash. As soon as I got it, I could tell that there was something really special about this yarn, and just taking that extra care to hand wash whatever garment you make out of it is going to be a necessity, because it is a hand wash yarn, but you will not regret washing it by hand. It is very lovely to the touch. This yarn costs $15 retail, which for silk is definitely a competitive price. It's not over expensive. I would purchase it again. I like silk. I only wear silk on my hair. Me and my family, we have curly hair, so wool is a little too rough on our hair, and it soaks out it sucks out some of the moisture. So what I do is I line all of my hats in silk. I'll show you one. I line all of my hats in silk. So this is a silk liner, and I'm always looking for silk to buy. And I think that Darn Good Yarn makes a wonderful silk yarn, and I will definitely be adding it to the top of my list for silk when I am searching for silk in the future. As I expected, this is silk yarn, so it has a lot of drape. Silk does not have a lot of elasticity as it is, but because it's so tightly spun, it's a very strong and sturdy yarn. That's another reason why I chose to make a plant hanger, because I knew that it was going to be strong and sturdy, and it has to hold up a lot of weight. With it being silk, expect a lot of drape. I think that this yarn would be great for garments that lend themselves to drape. So something that's not super form-fitting, maybe like a scarf or a shawl. Or what I'm going to do with it personally is I'm going to, out of the rest of this yarn, I'm going to make a little baby hat, because I think I have just enough to make a little baby hat. Even my little ones with their curly hair, they need silk hats too. So what I'm going to do with this is either line my hats with them or make hats like beret style, like slouchy beanies. I think would be really great. They don't have to hold a shape super well. So like I said, this yarn has a lot of drape, but that's to be expected because it is silk. I think it's really special that they use all recycled silk in their yarn. I kept getting served ads for Darn Good Yarn, and I just thought like, okay, what is this about? I wanted to try it, and I'm always on the lookout for ethically sourced silk. So I feel really confident and very pleased that I now have a source for ethically sourced silk. They keep a lot of silk waste out of the landfills, and every skein is dyed, hand dyed, and some of their products are also hand spun. So that is really, really cool. The colors are super vibrant. They really pop on this particular yarn. So this yarn comes in 10 different colorways. So there are 10 different colors. This is Southern France, and it's kind of a fuchsia and an electric green. Okay, so second, I also received this Fields of Green DK weight recycled yarn, recycled silk yarn. This is gorgeous. I love this yarn. I cannot wait to make something with it. Each pack comes with 5 different colors, 5 different balls of yarn, and it's kind of like a gradient. And these are, oh my gosh, are they ever soft? Oh, this is a DK weight yarn. So it is the same fiber content as the silk roving yarn that I was just talking about, but it is DK weight, and it has a 2-ply. So instead of it being a single ply, it has 2 plies. And it's a little bit of a lighter weight. So it's just as soft as the other one. This comes with 5 different colors, and there are 5 different color ways to choose from. So that means that there are 25 different colors in all, and 5 come in each pack. This costs $99 retail value. It is all 100% reclaimed silk, and you get 5 balls of yarn with it. They come already wound, which I thought was really fun. It made me feel like, oh, I want to start a project with this right away. That is good marketing on their part. This has slightly more yardage than the silk roving yarn. So this has 150 yards per ball, 50 grams per ball, and it's a DK weight. This yarn is also a hand wash yarn. You're going to want to take the extra time and care for your garments by hand washing them. This is very special luxury fiber. I would love to use this yarn for one of those like fade style garments, like a shawl or a scarf. Because of the drape of silk, I'm thinking something that doesn't have to hold its shape. Something that can really, like lace would be really beautiful. You know, it can bloom out and just look really luxurious. My favorite thing about this yarn, I honestly like this yarn better than this one, but only because I like the colors more. So I think these colors they're gorgeous. They're muted, they're earth tones, they're subdued. So this is, they call it Herbal dyed recycled silk. So what that means is that it's botanically dyed, right? So I think that that is so special. It looks natural. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the muted earth tones. That's kind of my thing. And that's just a personal preference. I think maybe if I would have chosen a different colorway of the other yarn, maybe I would have liked that color more, but for what I used it for, to spruce up my kids' room, it was absolutely perfect because it's bright, super vibrant, and I loved it too. So when I am looking for silk in the future, I know that Darn Good Yarn is definitely going to be high on my list for ethically sourced silk. And if you appreciated this review, of course, I'm going to ask you to comment, like, and subscribe. In the description of this video, there's a link to Darn Good Yarn's website, and you can find the Herbal dyed silk pack on their website, and you can also find the silk roving yarn.